Chapter 1. The sky was a dark purple, the last rays of golden sun dripping down to tomorrow. In a dark alley, 2 men and a boy stood, facing each other. The boy and one of the men crouched, ready for action. Both had knives in hand, offensively aimed at the other man. The second man stood with his back pressed against the wall of a building, one hand stretched out protectively before him. "Please," the man begged, his voice trembling. The plea was ignored. The first man grinned and stepped back, whipping his black cloak away. He gestured to the boy. "Go ahead." In a flash, the boy was upon the second man, his knife slashing his throat with one precise movement. The man clutched his throat, arching his back as he fell to his knees. Dark blood seeped past his fingers and dripped down his expensive fabric. He let loose a garbled groan before collapsing sideways onto the ground. The first man knelt down and grabbed the man's wrists. A moment later, he dropped it into the dust. "Dead," he announced. "Well done, boy." The boy scowled, wiping his blade off on the dead man's clothes. "I don't need you to congratulate me. I'm a better assassin than you'll ever be." The man frowned, but almost as if this outburst amused him. "Is that so? Why else would King Hesher appoint me as the next king's assassin while you're just a minor?" The man smirked and turned, walking toward the last faded streaks of day, forcing the boy to trot after him. "Yes, I am just a minor, but you're not king's assassin yet." He cast a glance behind him, smiling wickedly. "Anything could happen between now and then, Connor." The boy named Connor stuck his chin into the air proudly. "The king would never give a different assassin the position. I have been destined for the role since I was born." "Ah," the man sighed. "Since you were born. And where, exactly, were you born, boy?" Connor angrily brushed his hair up under his hood. He hated it. Caradelians had brown hair, not Iranians. He always loathed the insinuation that maybe, because he was an orphan and didn't know who his parents were, he was Caradelian, an enemy of Irania. Despite himself, he couldn't help wondering where his brown hair had come from. Was it his father or his mother? Or perhaps a grandparent? He didn't know. Falcon, a retired assassin, raised the boy, or, more accurately, trained him. From the moment he was brought before King Hesher as a child, Connor was destined to be King's assassin. One look at the boy's strength and agility made Hesher's mind. And his build helped, too. It was hard to find a small, wiry body in Irania. Most people had a thick, muscular build and were generally very tall. A build like Connor's was just the thing for an assassin. So Falcon trained the boy in the art of killing, bringing him up to be as tough and uncaring as possible. This job made it necessary for him to have a heart as cold and hard as steel and a soul of the same sort. At least his eyes were all right. They were dark blue, the usual color for Iranians. "I have proven myself time and time again, Mullen. Why do you insist on throwing my parentage back in my face?" Connor said. Mullen didn't respond for a moment. When he spoke again, he said, "I just don't want you to come out of this too broken, my dear boy." "What could you possibly mean by that?" "Well," Mullen paused as if he didn't really want to say. "What if—" He hesitated again, dramatically. "What if, like I said, King Hesher doesn't want you to be King's assassin?" Connor leapt in front of the man, one hand resting over his sheathed knife. But before he could protest, Mullen held up a silencing hand. "Hear me out," he said diplomatically. Connor frowned, but stayed quiet. "What if King Hesher doesn't want you to be King's assassin?" he repeated. "Think about it. It might make sense." "How?" "He's keeping you from things. Important things you need to know." Connor folded his arms over his chest. "What things?" he demanded. Mullen eyed the boy slyly. "Well, for one, you've never been given a solo assignment." Connor dropped his arms to his sides. It was true. He'd gone on plenty of assignments with minors, or in small groups, but never once had he been on an assignment all on his own. Why? Was Mullen right? Was King Hesher trying to keep him from becoming King's assassin? Not letting Connor know how to do certain things, like how to execute a solo assignment, and then later arguing he was not fit to be the country's second in command? Connor ground his teeth. "The only reason I've never gone on a solo assignment is because I've never asked. Just wait. I'll get a solo assignment. I'll request one as soon as we get back. Like what you're hearing? Interested in reading more? The whole story is out on Inkitt now. Please check it out. The link is down below. The Boy Assassin is currently entered into a contest on Inkitt and will not be fully published anywhere else until the contest ends. I encourage you to check it out there, like and review it. Thanks, guys. Bye.